Harold Castro is the greatest baseball player to ever live. Today on Locked On Tigers.
You are Locked On Tigers, your daily Detroit Tigers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Locked On Tigers. Today is Tuesday, May 17th, 2022. Thanks for making Locked On Tigers your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast. That is including YouTube. What a win. I'm, of course, your host, Scott Bentley. Did I say my own name? I don't know if I introduced myself. I'm all jazzed up. What a win. What a win for your Detroit Tigers. And it feels like the tables are turning. The gears are starting to turn. We talked about this a little bit yesterday, but it feels like the tide is shifting a little bit. And that's very easy to say after a 4-0 victory. 4-0 victory. That wasn't the score. After a 4-game winning streak, that's very easy to say that and seems fairly obvious. But there's still a lot of things, that we need to improve on. But there is also a lot of things that we were doing wrong at the beginning that we are starting to tighten up and that we are starting to fix, I guess, for lack of a better term. But this was a phenomenal 3-2 victory by your Detroit Tigers over the Tampa Bay Rays in Tampa. Harold Castro, the hero of this game. There is no other way to put it. He was the hero of this ball game. And phenomenal start by Alex Faedo. A few people offensively, I thought, put together some really good ABs. We'll definitely talk about both Castros, but it's been so long since there was like a fun end of a game like that in our favor. Like as exciting as last Friday was with Gregory, Soto, and Will Vest, right, getting out of the bases loaded jam and getting a win. That was exciting for sure. But like that's like excitement that we inflicted upon ourselves. And I understand that we gave up a run. Michael Fulmer gave up a run in the 8th to tie this game, and we could have just closed it out naturally. But having the go-ahead home run in the was the 9th, right? Top of 9, yeah. Having the go-ahead home run in that situation is just something that I have missed, and it's something that we have not really had since opening day. That was it, really, all year. That's for end of games that have worked in our favor. For end of game moments like that have worked in our favor. It's really just opening day and then this one. And that's kind of it. We've had a lot of meltdowns. Well, actually, we haven't really had a lot of meltdowns. We had the one meltdown that was so bad in Minnesota that it feels like a lot of meltdowns. But it's been a while, and it's nice to win one. You know, it's really nice to win one. It's also really nice to win 4. And that is a 4-game winning streak for your Detroit Tigers. Oh, it was against Baltimore. Well, now it's against Tampa. So grow up with your childish comeback. It was against Baltimore. That doesn't matter. A win is a win. At the end of the season, they don't go, oh, well, the Yankees won 100, but, 16 of them were against Baltimore. Grow up. Okay? All right. This is a really, really exciting game. A lot to go over, honestly. There was a lot of drama with the bullpen we'll talk about. An incredible start from Alex Faedo. Some moments from the offense and some not moments from the offense. Really was kind of a roller coaster of a game. Let's start with the offense. Okay? We'll start with the offense, and then we will get into the pitching side of things and some of the managerial decisions down the stretch as well. But for starters, 3 runs against Tampa. Corey Kluber on the bump for the Rays. Kluber has been okay this year. I mean, certainly is a shell of his former self, when he was a Cy Young candidate year in and year out, but still is pretty effective. ERA in the low fours. I mean, he's not bad. He's gonna able to go six. He went six tonight. He had a quality start for Tampa, and he had 8 Ks. Kind of got diced up a little bit from Corey Kluber in 2022, which is not great. And the offense is still a cause for concern. Like, we're going to celebrate this win. We're going to have a fun show. And we're going to get this out of the way early. The offense is definitely still slightly concerning. That was not a very good offensive performance as a team. Now, the thing is, they are taking advantage and hitting extra base hits. The hits that they do have are now extra base hits for the first time all year. We had 6 hits today. We had 3 runs. That's pretty solid, right? And on top of that, we didn't have a single walk, so nothing on top of that. 6 base runners, and it's so important to get that, to have those hits that you do get be extra base hits. That's how the game is played today. We've talked about it a million times. I'm not going to be a broken record, but it's just such a huge difference. And obviously, especially when they're home runs, right? That's instant offense, that's instant runs. And Jonathan Scope going Yabo, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Great swing. I thought all of his at-bats in this game were actually really good. I was very impressed by all 4 Jonathan Scope ABs, only though he only got the 1 hit that was the home run. I thought he looked a lot better. I think his approach at the plate is really solid. Didn't strike out in this game. Had a couple of hard hit balls besides the home run. Just all around, really, really pleased with how Scopey's been looking lately. Also defensively, golly, Jonathan Scope is going after the Gold Glove at second base. You best believe it. And I really hope that they don't do anything that would require Jonathan Scope to have to move to first base at this point, because I genuinely believe that if he stays at second base the whole season, I think he is winning Gold Glove at second base. I do. He's been, and I know it's really early and all that, but he has been unreal. All of his metrics are absolutely off the charts, like some of the best in baseball. He has been killing it, and he was flashing the leather like crazy in this game. Phenomenal heads up play to get G-Man Choi trying to run to third. Not great base running, admittedly, but take advantage of not great base running. Go get him out. So beautiful play there, and then had a fantastic turn double play later in the game as well, on unassisted. Well, threw the ball to first, so not really completely unassisted, but was able to catch the ball, hop on a second, make the relay down to first. It was phenomenal. So really, really great day all around. Have a day, Jonathan Scope. 2 of our 3 runs and 2 great plays in the field. Harold Castro continues to amaze me. He has a 760 OPS right now after this game. That's leading the team. Willie Castro is actually leading the team. That's second on the team. Him and Miguel Cabrera both have exactly 759 at the time of this recording. Willie Castro has 826. Austin Meadows is on the IL. I believe he's still a little bit over 700, but I think he's at this point below that 760 mark. So I don't even think he would crack into that top 3 there. Hitting Harold, baby. He amazes me. He's unbelievable. And you know, the crazier part, maybe not crazier, but one of the crazy things about him is if you talk to anybody on this team, Harold Castro's like a clubhouse leader guy. Like, has incredible leadership. Would not be surprised if he was into a coaching role post-playing career, maybe even a hitting coach role. That would be really funny just for the brand, right? But truly, like, all the guys in the locker room say that, like, Harold Castro is a clubhouse leader. He's like a vocal guy that people, turn to, and he's important to this team, and he clearly is right now. I mean, The defense, he can play a lot of different positions. He doesn't play any of them like really super well. But the versatility he gives you in the field to be able to plug and give anybody a day off, whether it's gold glove caliber defense or not, and the knowing that when he's in the batter's box, he is going to put the bat on the ball. It might not always be super hard hit. It might not be it might not be pretty. He might go over, but the ball is most likely going to get put in play when he is in the batter's box. And just said, you know what? Screw the haters. Screw all of the oh, he can only hit singles, all that nonsense. Hitting Harold turned to homer and Harold for an inning, baby. And not only that, he pimped the heck out of it. Absolute pimp job from Harold Castro, the dog. Harold Castro's got that dog in him. You best believe it. All right. This screen looking not how it normally does is driving me nuts. So I'm gonna stop playing the Harold Castro bat flip on loop. If you're watching on YouTube, for the first 11 minutes of the show, I have had a tiny little video of Harold Castro bat flipping, 8-second video on loop of his bat flip at the bottom of the screen the entire episode. But I can't take it anymore. Just a all around really solid. I mean, all of his ABs were pretty solid. He had the one strikeout, I guess. And then we need to talk about Willie Castro because that's the big controversial thing, right? Willie is he's hitting the ball, and you know the thing with him that I think justifies continuing to put him in there, besides the fact that he's just been the one of the better hitters on this team lately. But everybody, goes, oh, like BABIP, like whatever, a lot of bloop singles, admittedly, very true. But the thing that kind of makes me okay with it, even knowing that, is that he's not striking out. Like usually his strikeout numbers are much higher than what they're at now. His season clip is pretty low, and so I'm okay with it. I'm totally chill with continuing to throw. We all should be, because right now he is the literally like the best hitter on the team as we continue to get out of this rut to start the season offensively. But just it's when he's not striking out. I mean, he batted second in this game. And he had 2 hits. He went 2 for 4. Like I said, his OPS is over 820. So yeah, you got to keep finding spots for him. And with the Victor Reyes and Austin Meadows injury, there will certainly be a spot for him probably every day for the foreseeable future. I don't see this stopping, and it probably shouldn't, because again, the strikeout numbers are low, on top of the fact that he's batting .333 and slugging over .450. Like, yeah, you probably should keep putting that in the lineup. Besides that, Miguel Cabrera continues to own Corey Kluber in his career. Jonathan Scope, we already talked about. Jeimer Candelario either gets under a ball or drives a ball. So he's still working on some timing, working on some launch angle stuff, but does seem to be noticeably considerably better at bats than what he was taking in April. And I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's Robbie Grossman, I just want to touch on, really struggling at the plate. Still drawing his walks, and so the value is still there. Like, his on base percentage is .333, which is still one of the better OBPs on the team. But he's batting .204 and has a slugging percentage of .241. So he's still drawing his walks, which again, like, the value is still there in that aspect. But if it's in the strike zone, he's not doing too much with it, and that's pretty concerning. So we'll see how they manage that. Maybe give him some more days off, or maybe just move him down in the lineup. But certainly some cause for concern there. And that's the offense. 3 runs. There's still a lot of work to be done. I still want to see a lot more production out of a lot of people. I think we all do. But A, I'm not going to ever complain too terribly much over a win. And B, the few hits that we did have and have been having recently have at least been extra base hits, and extra base hits produce offense. And there's just a night and day difference. You can still put up low run totals. You can still not have a ton of hits on the day, but If they're doubles and homers, you're at least going to bring in a couple of runs and give yourself a chance to win late in the game. And that is exactly what happened on Monday night against Tampa. Beautiful. I am way over time for my first segment here. A lot to talk about in this one. Um, we will get into Alex Faedo right after I tell y'all about Built Bar. Imagine dipping your finger into that plastic tub of birthday cake frosting and then opening your eyes and realizing it was only 150 calories and 16 grams of protein. That's what it's like eating a birthday cake puff from Built. I'm going to be honest with you. This is like completely off script. They sent all the hosts a box of birthday cake puff Built Bars. They are maybe one of the greatest things I've ever eaten in my entire life. It's ridiculous. I am crushing this box they sent me of this product. I am crushing it. Um, Having multiple a day. It's fantastic. I've been eating them for breakfast. It's really dangerous, but it's not dangerous because they're good for you. Like we talked about, 150 calories, 16 grams of protein, 9 grams of sugar. It's a limited time flavor, and it's an amazing option if you're looking for a healthy way to get flavor. And that's exactly what it is. It is unbelievably good, and I will continue to eat a lot of them. And I can feel good about myself while eating this delicious thing because it's actually good for me. And that's awesome. So go to built.com and get those birthday cake puffs along with all their other stuff. Great collection over there. So go to built.com and use promo code LOCK15 for 15% off of your order. That's promo code LOCK15 for 15% off at built.com. All right, everybody. Welcome back to segment 2 here at Locked On Tigers. Thanks for making Locked On Tigers your first listen every day. For your next listen, check out the Locked On Now podcast. Recaps of MLB games with analysis from our local experts, taking fans through the season like no other network. It's free and available wherever you get your podcast. All right, we're here. Segment 2. Let's talk about Alex Faedo. He looked phenomenal. And the thing is, I do this on the show often, and I think it's important for just an important trait for everyone in the world to have. I did not see this coming at all out of Alex Faedo. I don't think very many people did. And I was certainly wrong about his career trajectory. Even when he got called up, I mean, I said on the show, I was like, yeah, like this is kind of surprising that they're bringing him into a starter role. I kind of always expected him to be a reliever, or not always, but in the last 3 years, honestly, have probably just thought, yeah, he'll probably turn into a reliever. And it's because mostly it was because of the pitch mix. Really good fastball, incredible slider, as he's always had pretty much since he was walking. And I thought, okay, 2 pitch mix, like that's fine. But I would like another pitch in there if he wants to be an effective starter. And on top of that, he wasn't really blowing anyone away in the minors. He wasn't bad at all. Like he was solid, but he wasn't like, oh, I'm blown away. Need this dude in the rotation either. And so I think then just the Tommy John on top of that, people kind of like forgot almost about Alex Faedo and when we first drafted him, the plans for him to be in this rotation someday. And now look at us. Alex Faedo shoved. He looked phenomenal on the bump. Final line, 5 2/3, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. That was only on 83 pitches as well. I really wanted him to get that final out so that he could go 6, officially get that quality start. But I also I agree with the decision. He let 2 runners on. It was getting late in the game. No reason for a dude in his third start to get put in that high after he had such a great outing, high leverage. You have a solid bullpen, and 83 pitches for a guy get like that close off of Tommy John is still, or recovering from, I should say, Tommy John is still like fine. ERA on the year is now 2.87. And like I said before, first off, not like I said before. First off, the changeup has been such a pleasant surprise to me personally. This is not something that I realized was had the potential to be an effective pitch at the major league level, and I'm starting to think that it does. Threw it 21 times. The pitch mix, this is so beautiful. 83 pitches, 36 four seam, 26 slider, 21 changeup. That is beautiful 43%, 31%, 25% usage on those pitches. Incredible mix of those pitches. And the whiffs, 14 whiffs in 5 2/3. Last start, he had 17. He had 9 in this game through like 3 innings. I mean, there's just his presence on the mound. Like there's just something. There's just something there, man. There really is. There's something there with Alex Faedo, and it's so awesome to see because again, I think a lot of people either forgot about him or just straight up wrote him off as a potential starter for sure. I wrote him off honestly as a long term option to be a starter when I was thinking about the future rotation of this team for the next several years. Alex Faedo was not someone that was on my radar. I was pretty convinced he was going to be a reliever, and he is very much proving everybody wrong. And I hope he continues to do it because he is awesome to watch. Like he was fun. He was electric to watch. His slider moves like crazy. This is a pitch that, like, I mean, for real, starts at an inside ball, right? Like comfortably a ball inside and will end as a ball outside. Really, really nasty movement. The changeup also nasty, nasty movement in this game. Got a couple of whiffs on it, 3 whiffs on the changeup, 3 whiffs on the four seam, and 8 whiffs on the slider. Had a 28% CSW percentage, called strikes plus whiffs. That's good, solid number. It was also a 35% on the slider specifically. And that is really good. That is very high. That means over a third of the sliders he threw the entire game were either a called strike or a swing and miss strike. Phenomenal number. The average exit velocity for this game was a little bit over 91 miles an hour on 16 balls put in play. It's, I guess, a little high if you wanted to really get like nitpicky with it, but most of it was on the four seam fastball, which is pretty expected. The slider was in the low 80s and the changeup was sub 90. It was mostly just the four seam got hit pretty hard, but he was also dotting the four seam at times. I thought his command got a little bit away from him in the 5th and 6th inning, especially by the 6th, right before he got pulled. The command kind of left him. But in those first 3 innings, you could have convinced me that dude was the ace of a staff. I mean, seriously, he was unbelievable. Like I said, great command on the four seam, great tunneling. I thought Barnhart called a fantastic game, unbelievable pitch mix and decisions to go places. Going. There was one at bat specifically that I remember. He went four seam low and in. Then he went four seam low and in again because the first one was taken for a strike. The second one was fouled off. Then he went change up low, which like it's 0-2. You can do that. Then he went back to four seam in, missed his spot, then went slider low and away. Beautiful. His slider is such a good pitch. It looks like a fastball coming in. You've been pounding the lower inside corner with your off speed and your heat. So going for that good of a slider low and away, it was swing and miss, strike 3. Like he is, there really is something there. I really do think so, and that's awesome to see. I would much rather be wrong and have it benefit the Tigers than be right. I am not that prideful of a person. I'm not nearly prideful of a person enough for that to be true. And it's always really weird to me when people are like that because there are a lot of people in every fan base that are like that. They'd rather be right and have their team suffer. Doesn't make sense to me. So I think we should just all celebrate how awesome this surge from Alex Faedo has been since being called up. Awesome. Awesome performance. I'm super pumped about him for his next start. I mean, he's on the team now with the injuries and such. And I'm pumped about it. I'm really excited about it. And I'm wondering when Manning comes back, what happens. I mean, currently Manning can come back and you can still have Faedo in there, and you can still like Manning would be the 5th dude currently. Like we're really thin at starting pitcher. So well, it'll be fun. It'll be fun, and like it's kind of weird. Like when you watch him out there, to myself, I'm like, you're stupid. Like you're dumb. Like what? You just forgot that this dude was like the ace of one of the best college rotations in the history of college baseball? Like you just forgot that he won college baseball most outstanding player when he was at Florida. You just forgot that he was the Friday pitcher for a team that won the College World Series, that he was their ace. Like you just forgot all that. And like, oh, he didn't have his changeup. You didn't think was that effective when he was in Double A, so like he can't be a starter. Like you're stupid, dog. You know what I mean? Like that's dumb. So it's awesome. It's awesome. I get really excited watching him pitch, and I think I will continue to do so. And I think he really could be carving out a possible start in this rotation going forward. And that is what baseball is all about. That is awesome. Okay, let's get into the bullpen, some of the late game drama, some of the managerial decisions. First, though, got to tell you all about Rock Auto. With the ever increasing numbers of makes and models, it's now impossible for your local chain and auto parts store to stock all the parts that you need. So why endure often pointless or seemingly intimidating questioning and wait while the person behind the counter orders parts on their computer, choosing only the brand that their warehouse happens to carry? You have computers, you have access to rockauto.com at home and in your pocket. So save time and money when using Rock Auto. Why choose to spend 30%, 50%, even 100% more for the same parts from a chain store or car dealership? It just doesn't make sense. Rock Auto is a family business serving do-it-yourselfers for over 20 years. Their prices are reliably low for every customer. They have everything you need: brake parts, tail lamps, motor oil, even a new carpet. So go explore their easy-to-use website today. Find the solution for your auto parts needs. Go to rockauto.com right now. See all the parts available for your car or truck and write "Locked On" in the "How did you hear about us" box so they know that we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need at rockauto.com. All right, everybody. Welcome back to our third and final segment here at Locked On Tigers. Bullpen. Let's get to the pen and some of the late game drama. I mean, for starters, tie game going in. Harold Castro, man. Hitting Harold. So I think we should actually go chronologically. So Faedo then gets pulled with 2 outs and 2 on. Chafin comes in, more inherited runners for him, gets out of it without giving up a single run, chalked up to anybody. I thought it was a really solid at bat. I love Andrew Chafin's stuff. I love Andrew Chafin. ERA down to 2.35. Beautiful. Came out to start the next inning, gotten out. Then I believe gave up a hit. And he was then pulled for Alex Lang, who then got 2 more outs in that inning. 2 outs on 1 pitch, right? He got the double play through 1 pitch. It was a double play. That was it. I really like, especially against the Rays, just to like shove it in their face. I really like going to different relievers, making pitching changes like that mid inning. I'm fairly convinced Andrew Chafin could have got out of that. But, matchup wise, etc., I really like the decision to go to Lang there. And in the middle of an inning, change up who you're expecting and what you're game planning for and all that. I really like that managerial move. So I was a big fan of Lang coming in for Chafin mid inning. Then that's it for Lang. Michael Fulmer comes out. So Michael Fulmer struggles a little bit. The command was pretty rough for him in this one, and then we'll get to Gregory Soto after that. This is why. Well, a few things. First off, this is why I am not the manager of the Detroit Tigers, I guess, and this is why you can't play the brash decision of just everybody wants like a change immediately when something goes wrong in baseball because there's so many levels of the minors and there's so many different roles. It's very unique in that aspect. And so like a closer blows a couple of games, get them out of there. Or somebody's slumping for the first couple of weeks, send them down. Or somebody's hitting the cover off the ball in AAA, bring them up. It's not that black and white, and it's not an automatic translation. And you can't be that quick with it, because if you were that quick, you would just be making moves all year and no one would have a feel for anything. And no one would be in a role for more than a week, because that is baseball. So I said, I want to say a week ago, the Michael Fulmer's who I'd go to in a one run game. Here's the thing. I still kind of agree with that, even though he literally was just in a one-run game and blew it, and then Soto went in the one-run game and got the win. And I'm the biggest Gregory Soto defender on the planet. The first at bat, he was still all over the place. Then he realized, hey, I can just throw it down the middle because these dudes all have OPSs in the 400s. I can just throw 100 with movement down the middle and nobody's going to hit it. And sure enough, the next two batters didn't. Um, and then he got what? I'm trying to remember the at bats. I don't know why I just had a complete brain fart there. So he gets the strikeout. That's great. Then there's the single. Yeah, that was not a poorly located pitch. That was not Gregory Soto's fault per se. Like he was the pitcher, and that's pretty much the extent of the fault there. Um, that I mean, not a super hard hit ball right up the middle. If it's to the left or right a little bit, somebody can make a play on it with our good defensive middle infield. Just kind of a BABIP thing, whatever. Like I said, I thought the pitch was located actually pretty well. Guy got on top of it, just happened to have some eyes on it and get through the infield. The Mike Zunino at bat, a couple of inches either way. We might be talking about a home run. Mike Zunino's a power hitter, saw some heat, full count. But I'm not sure that after seeing Gregory Soto that was like, oh, like yeah, like we're fine. Like it was still a little shaky. But that being said, I do think the command is getting a lot better. I think since the last couple of outings, I have been much more impressed with since the meltdown on Friday. I have been a lot more impressed with the command from Soto. I don't think necessarily that not even necessarily. I don't think that it's perfect, and I don't think that it's where anybody wants it to be at this point. However, I think it's taking steps in the right direction. The biggest thing is that he is going to continue to be put in these situations, whether we like it or not. And that is a Hinch thing. And the interesting philosophy about that is just the thought that long term matters. And you know what? If there is a one-run game, maybe, some people might want to go to Will Vest. And then, like that, again, that's why you don't change stuff so quickly. Everybody wants something to change immediately when anyone screws up at anything. And that's why you can't do it, because then what? Then okay, so Gregory Soto had his several meltdowns. He loses the job. Michael Fulmer is now giving up runs in his last 3 or 4 outings. He's been getting hit around a little bit more. Okay, no, we don't want Michael Fulmer. He just blew one. Okay, well now we're going to go to Will Vest. Will Vest, love the dude to death. It has been great this year. Was a 6 ERA Rule 5 pick last year. Very possible that you throw him out there in a one-run game, he gives it up. Okay, well now what? Are you just going to play musical chairs all year? No, you're not. So he's going to continue to get those opportunities. And if he continues to grow and the command continues to get better and he gets more comfortable in those opportunities, we could be looking at a dude that is an incredibly effective reliever for a pretty long time here. And if he goes back to having meltdowns, then I'm sure that they won't let it go on so long that it will seriously hinder the team, that it will seriously cause a ton of losses and really like hose an entire season. I trust this coaching staff too much to go too far in the other direction either. So that's where we're at. Michael Fulmer is going to continue getting the 8th. Gregory Soto is going to continue getting the 9th. I don't think it's that black and white of like 8th and 9th per se, but Michael Fulmer is going to get the second highest leverage situation of the game. Gregory Soto is going to continue to get the highest leverage situation of the game. And that's all there is to it. And like I said, if Soto goes back to fumbling a little bit, we could see a change down the road at some point. But there's still almost 130 games of baseball left. It's far too early to be jumping around all over the place. And like I said, that is why I guess I am also not. I have the reflective ability to understand that I was probably too quick with it too. But that is the reality of the situation. And that's all I got. I think that's everything. Andrew Chafin was good. Alex Lang was good. Faedo offense. Yeah. Thanks for making Locked On Tigers your first listen every day. Now make your second listen Locked On MLB. Host Paul Francis Sullivan. Please call him Sully. He brings you his unique perspective on the major leagues, both past and present. It's free and available wherever you get your podcasts, including YouTube, just like us, baby. We'll catch you tomorrow. Another game against Tampa. Look to take this winning streak from 4 to 5. Don't let the boys get hot. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying anything else. All I'm saying is do not let the boys get hot. Bo Brisky will be in this one, going up against McClanahan for the Rays. And I think that's all I got for you. Peace and love. Going to therapy still open. I'll catch you tomorrow, baby. Go Tigers.